Hey everybody, this is Rich Hanlon with Crypto Closers, and I just wanted to get back to everybody today because we've got some incredible news taking place. I wanted to highlight some of these items that are all converging at the same time. I don't know if you're paying attention, but if you're not, some incredibly big news keeps coming out on a daily basis, but this one really is poised to excite the crypto market. And if it's my understanding, it's designed to get people in the US excited about crypto because quite honestly, it's been kind of a tough road the last couple of years with all the regulation. So we'll talk about that in a minute. The hot story I'm talking about is Trump's bold move could make crypto gains tax free. And then they go on to talk about a couple tokens that could be benefited by that. They talk about Cardano and they talk about Solana. Um, I think there's a lot of tokens that are going to benefit from that, obviously, depending on where you're at. But this is designed to get people excited again. We're not the only country that would be doing that, by the way. So we have just taken an approach over the last 4 years, an anti crypto approach. A lot of people have been fighting this. If you follow the lawsuits at all, there's been tons of lawsuits by the SEC to hold back the crypto community. It's been, I don't know if it's to slow it down while the, central banks catch up, or truly if it was like a war between the two. I guess time will show us what that's all about. But this is big news if you're any type of an investor, individual, corporate. If you've got a fund, if you got to, run a portfolio fund, all the way up the ladder, this could be huge. You'll start to see a couple more ETFs come into play. They're talking about the XRP ETF coming in possibly 2025. But that is one of the biggest news stories, that if you have not started dollar cost averaging into cryptocurrency via like crypto.com or Coinbase or any one of the other crypto websites, you might start letting go of a few lattes over at Starbucks and start putting a couple bucks in, because it's just getting started. The wild west days of no regulation are just about over. All right, let's get on to the next story. When I say exciting news, there is just big news stories after big news stories. I want you to see this one right here. SEC Chair Gensler to depart agency on January 20th. If you're not following this, if you haven't followed this, Gary Gensler is the chairman of the SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission here in the US. The whole SEC has been riddled with controversy for the last couple of years, starting with a lawsuit placed on the last day that the last chairman left the position and Gary Gensler came in. And that was the famous XRP lawsuit, which has been going this whole entire time. It settled out that XRP is not a security, and then now they're trying to settle the actual lawsuit between them, and they expect that any day now. But with the news, I don't know if you understand, the SEC has regulated by legal enforcement. Regulation by enforcement, you got people coming in saying, hey, here's our plans, come on in, talk to us. And then you turn around and sue them and go after them and try and shut them down. I mean, it's been pretty ridiculous. Remember, they're there to protect the individual small investor, us small investors that don't know how to get our own help or how to read anything. Well, it'll go down as one of the largest screw yous to the individual investors. I think well over like 500,000 XRP holders were affected by this lawsuit. I don't know if you remember, it's the only, they put the lawsuit, they immediately made all the crypto places pull it off. You couldn't buy it anymore. You couldn't even get your hands on it. Now, I want you to understand there's been a lot of lawsuits, but I'm not aware of any other time that the delisting has happened I think just recently Luna Classic got delisted, maybe. But that's crazy. All these lawsuits, and then supposedly Ethereum and Bitcoin get a free pass. Bitcoin, they don't know who to sue anyways, because Satoshi Nakamoto, no one knows who it is, supposedly. And then you got Ethereum, which basically was the chosen one. If you were to watch XRP Unleashed, the documentary, if you get a chance, you might want to watch that, and you will understand how much regulation by legal enforcement has been taking place over the last 4 years. It's really eye-opening how our government protects us, supposedly. But anyways, that's huge news. This means that a new chair will be coming in. I think Trump has already elected that person, and they are pro crypto. You're going to see a new stance in the United States where we are going to be trying to get back to the leader and forefront of the crypto markets and technology. It's about time. It's about time. All right, what else we got going on out there? Well, we've been talking about it. Obviously, if you're going to take away capital gains on cryptocurrency, obviously, if Gary Gensler is going to step down, the SEC and the XRP lawsuit's going to be coming to an end once and for all. What would you expect to start seeing happening? And sure enough, XRP is the golden child today, when we couldn't even say that word out loud. Over the last couple of years, they just belittled it, from every CNN to every business report. If you even brought that up, they immediately steered you in the direction of Ethereum and Bitcoin. If you don't know anything about XRP, you should educate yourself. Out of all cryptocurrencies, XRP has the most use case of any of them. There was a fund manager who's currently using XRP, because whether you like it or not, it's being used around the world already. We're just fighting it here in the US. But when you think about the SWIFT system moving $50 million from the US to China, China to the US, whatever, any country you want to pick, you have to use the SWIFT system, which was ran by the United States for quite a while, since what's that famous meeting where they put everything through the US? I can't remember now. But I'm trying to think where all the people met over there. I keep wanting to say Breckenridge, but that's not it. It doesn't matter. But what I'm getting at, the SWIFT system is very slow. It takes a couple of days to move money internationally. It's very expensive on both sides. You need to convert your money. You need to send the money, and then you got to convert it to whatever denomination or world currency on the other side. So US dollars to yen, things like that. But you had to do everything in the US dollar in order to use the SWIFT system. So the BRICS nations have been fighting that one. But this fund manager talked about moving $50 million. He talked about the old way. And then he talked about using the XRP ledger. He talked about 3 to 4, sometimes 5 days. He talked about $5,000 to $15,000 in costs, compared to $50 million being moved in 5 seconds. Yes, I said seconds, for about 17 cents in cost. I want to make sure you heard me right. $50 million moved in roughly 5 to 6 seconds for less than 20 cents, about 17 cents. If you don't think the future is here, you are missing out. I saw something the other day that talked about, if you could have $100 of XRP, which currently right now I think it's at $1.70, give or take. So what would that cost you? $170, something like that. That would be life-changing. If you could buy 1,000 XRP, you may never have to work again. And if you could buy 10,000 XRP, you would never worry about money ever again. What they're saying is the expectation is that each XRP could be worth a lot of money here in the near future and as we move forward. If the world starts to use XRP to move money, and now we have a pro-crypto presidency, we have a pro-crypto SEC, you have a pro-crypto Senate, and you have a pro-crypto House, you could see 4 years of the biggest turnaround of a market in a way that absolutely is staggering. And all you have to do is put a footprint into it, and you could have possibly a life-changing scenario for you, your family, and your family for generations. If that doesn't excite you, I don't know what does. Raoul Pal, I think he was a Goldman Sachs hedge manager, since retired, but he talks a lot. And one of the things he talks about is the downside versus the upside. And one thing he talked about XRP, that for the cost, and let's say it never happened, you put out $1,000 with the hopes that it might do something, and hey, it goes down, you lose 50%, you end up with $500. People are like, oh my God. But that same $1,000 has an upside of possibly 100 to 1. It would be the best investment of your lifetime. If you ever thought it would have been cool to be in on Amazon or on Microsoft or on Apple, that's what they're comparing it to. And it's currently at $1.70. It may never, ever look this way again. This is one of those things that will still be a good buy at $25, at $50, at $100, at $1,000. People will still be buying it. And yet you could buy it right now for $1.70. Look, I'm not giving you financial advice. We're just talking through some crazy things that are going on in the market. And if you haven't been paying attention, XRP is up like 150% since the election. Like, that's crazy. And it's just starting. So if we recap, we got Trump talking about waiving capital gains on cryptocurrency. That's incredible. We got the current SEC chair, Gary Gensler, stepping out, and he departs the agency on January 20th. So with him goes the regulation by enforcement, which has gone nowhere and helped nobody. And then last but not least, the biggest gains, yes, Bitcoin is gaining, but the percentage of gains are in some of these other coins. Hey, I'm good for spreading out. I think you should diversify. But if you are not paying attention to the front runners in the crypto market like XRP, then you are not getting good information out there. Everybody has their favorites. I own a little bit of everything of what I guess would be the top 20 cryptocurrencies because they all are doing good. They all have a use case. But out of all of them, XRP is the one that's been working hard around the world, getting approved by banks in all countries. I want you to think about that. A world use case. We haven't seen that before, ever. So I'm excited. Hey, that's my 3 topics for today. I hope you got something out of it. This is Rich Hanlon with Crypto Closers. Leave me a message. Leave me a thumbs up if you're liking the news. But I hope that you jump in somewhere because sometimes that is the first step, is just jumping in. All right, I'm checking out. Thanks so much for your time and take care.